The Congo River, a name that evokes images of dense jungles, untamed wilderness and a raw primal energy. It is a river that has inspired countless tales of adventure and mystery, a place where nature reigns supreme. This is no ordinary river. It is the lifeblood of a continent, a colossal force of nature carving its way through the heart of Africa. Its waters nourish the land, support countless species, and sustain the lives of millions of people who live along its banks. The second longest river in Africa, the Congo is a giant dwarfing even the mighty Nile in terms of the volume of water it carries. Its basin is the second largest in the world, covering an area of over 4 million square kilometers. But the Congo is more than just a geographical marvel. It is a source of immense power, its currents holding the potential to generate vast amounts of hydroelectric energy. The river's energy potential is so great that it could power much of the African continent, transforming the lives of millions. For centuries, this power lay dormant, unknown and untapped by the outside world. The river's rapids and cataracts, while beautiful, presented formidable obstacles to navigation, keeping the river's interior hidden from the prying eyes of European explorers. These natural barriers created a sense of mystery and danger, adding to the river's legendary status. Then, in the late 19th century, everything changed. A new breed of explorer, driven by ambition, greed and a thirst for the unknown, set their sights on the Congo. They were determined to unlock its secrets and exploit its resources, no matter the cost. These were not the gentlemen explorers of old, but hardened adventurers, willing to face any danger, overcome any obstacle, to claim the riches of Africa for themselves. They braved disease, hostile terrain, and fierce wildlife driven by the promise of untold wealth. Among them, one name would come to be forever linked with the Congo: Henry Morton Stanley. His expedition into the heart of Africa would change the course of history, unleashing a torrent of greed, exploitation, and unimaginable cruelty that would scar the Congo for generations to come. Stanley's journey opened the floodgates for colonization, leading to the brutal exploitation of the land and its people. The river of power was about to be harnessed, but at a terrible, terrible cost. The legacy of this exploitation is still felt today, as the Congo continues to grapple with the consequences of its turbulent past. 1874. The world held its breath. Famed explorer David Livingstone had vanished in the depths of Africa. Rumors swirled of his demise, lost to disease or at the hands of hostile tribes. The New York Herald, eager for a sensational story, dispatched their star reporter, Henry Morton Stanley, on a mission to find Livingstone, dead or alive. Stanley, a man of relentless drive and ambition, embraced the challenge. He assembled an expedition, equipping it with the latest technology and supplies, determined to conquer the uncharted wilderness. His journey would take him deep into the heart of Africa, a land of unimaginable beauty and danger. For months, Stanley and his men battled their way upstream against the relentless current of the Congo. They faced treacherous rapids, dense jungles teeming with insects, and the constant threat of disease. Encounters with local tribes were unpredictable, ranging from wary curiosity to outright hostility. Finally, on November 10, 1871, a moment etched in history. Stanley, weary but triumphant, uttered the now famous words, "Dr. Livingstone, I presume?" The lost explorer had been found, ailing but alive. The world erupted in celebration, but for Stanley, this was just the beginning. He had glimpsed the potential of the Congo, its vast resources and untapped wealth, and he would return. Stanley's discovery of Livingstone made him an international celebrity, but more importantly, his expedition had revealed the secrets of the Congo River, shattering the European perception of Africa. No longer was it a mysterious, impenetrable continent. The Congo, with its navigable waterways, offered a gateway to the heart of Africa, a route to riches unimaginable. Europe, in the throes of the Industrial Revolution, was hungry for resources. Rubber, ivory and other raw materials were in high demand, and the Congo, with its vast untapped reserves, was ripe for exploitation. Stanley, now hailed as an expert on Africa, became the man of the hour. Kings and emperors courted him, eager to capitalize on his knowledge. But it was King Leopold II of Belgium, a shrewd and ambitious monarch, who would secure Stanley's services. Leopold, frustrated by his small, insignificant kingdom, craved an empire of his own. The Congo, he believed, was his chance for greatness. Under Leopold's patronage, Stanley returned to the Congo not as an explorer, but as an agent of empire. He negotiated treaties with local chiefs, often through trickery or coercion, securing their land and labor for Leopold's burgeoning Congo Free State. The seeds of a brutal colonial regime were sown, a regime that would unleash unimaginable suffering upon the Congolese people. Section 4, Leopold City, the rise of Kinshasa. Leopold, a master of propaganda, presented himself as a benevolent ruler, bringing civilization and progress to the heart of Africa. He crafted an image of a humanitarian, a savior of the so-called Dark Continent, promising to uplift the native population through European enlightenment. But in reality, his motives were far less noble. Behind the facade of philanthropy, Leopold harbored ambitions of immense personal gain and power. He envisioned the Congo as his personal domain, a source of immense wealth and prestige. His eyes were set on the vast natural resources, particularly ivory and rubber, which promised enormous profits. To solidify his control, he needed a stronghold, a center of power from which to project his authority. This would serve as the administrative and commercial hub of his burgeoning empire. He chose a location on the banks of the Congo River, a spot strategically located for trade and transportation. The river provided a vital artery for moving goods and people, making it an ideal choice. Here, in 1881, the settlement of Leopoldville was founded, named, of course, in honor of the self-proclaimed sovereign of the Congo Free State. This settlement marked the beginning of a new era in the region's history. Later renamed Kinshasa, it would become the capital of the Democratic Republic of Congo, a testament to the enduring legacy of Leopold's colonial ambitions. The city grew rapidly, reflecting the complex interplay of colonial power and local resilience. Leopoldville quickly became a boomtown, a magnet for European merchants, missionaries, and adventurers seeking their fortune in the Congo. The promise of wealth and opportunity drew many to its bustling streets, but beneath the veneer of civilization, a darker side to the city emerged. The influx of Europeans brought with it exploitation and inequality. It became a hub for the ivory and rubber trade, fueling the exploitation and brutality that characterized Leopold's reign. The demand for these resources led to widespread abuse and suffering. The indigenous population, forced into servitude, endured unimaginable hardships. They were coerced into labor, often under the threat of violence. They were subjected to forced labor, brutal punishments, and systematic oppression. The human cost of Leopold's ambitions was staggering, with countless lives lost and communities devastated. Leopoldville, the shining symbol of Leopold's ambition, was built on the backs of the Congolese people, a stark reminder of the human cost of colonialism. The city's history is a testament to the resilience of its people and the enduring impact of colonial exploitation. Section 5, the Iron Fist, King Leopold II and the Congo. King Leopold II, a name synonymous with greed, brutality, and the darkest chapter in African history. His legacy is one of exploitation and unimaginable cruelty. Behind his carefully crafted facade of philanthropy and progress lurked a ruthless tyrant driven by an insatiable lust for wealth and power. He presented himself as a benevolent ruler, but his actions told a different story. The Congo, he believed, was his to exploit, its people expendable in his pursuit of profit. He saw the vast resources of the Congo as an opportunity to enrich himself and his kingdom. Leopold ruled the Congo Free State with an iron fist, his authority absolute and unquestioned. He created a regime of terror and oppression where dissent was met with brutal force. He established a system of administration designed to maximize revenue, regardless of the human cost. The administration was meticulously organized to ensure that every possible resource was extracted. The Force Publique, a private army commanded by European officers, was unleashed upon the Congolese people, terrorizing the population into submission. This army was notorious for its brutality and was instrumental in enforcing Leopold's policies. Leopold's greed knew no bounds. He was relentless in his pursuit of wealth, exploiting the land and its people to the fullest extent. He imposed exorbitant taxes on the Congolese, forcing them to gather wild rubber, ivory, and other valuable resources. The labor was grueling, and the conditions were inhumane. Failure to meet their quotas resulted in savage punishments, including floggings, mutilations, and even death. The punishments were designed to instill fear and ensure compliance. Villages were razed, hostages taken, and entire communities decimated in a reign of terror that shocked the world. The atrocities committed under Leopold's rule were unprecedented in their scale and cruelty. The Congo, once a land of vibrant cultures and traditions, was transformed into a vast labor camp, its people enslaved to feed Leopold's insatiable appetite for wealth. The cultural and social fabric of the region was irreparably damaged. His reign of terror would last for decades, leaving an indelible scar on the soul of a nation. The impact of his rule is still felt today, as the Congo continues to grapple with the legacy of its colonial past.